In Thursday's lesson, it in the paragraph points out that something that we've been discussing here for some time, that the Bible records real people who did real historical things, but these real historical lives also have a metaphorical reality to a metaphorical lesson to a larger reality. We've been kind of hammering this idea home about the Old Testament as well. And they talk about the experience of Daniel in Babylon, and Joseph in Egypt, and Esther in Persia. First question though, why was Daniel in Babylon, Joseph in Egypt, and Esther in Persia? Why? Because Satan was trying to destroy the avenue for the Messiah and leading the people into these actions. So you're right, there was these sinful actions and behaviors, the brothers jealous, but who stirred up all that jealousy? Okay? So Satan is working to destroy the avenue for Messiah, and this is why they end up in rebellion against God over and over again, because he is constantly, remember Balaam's advice to the nations around them. You want to destroy these people, bring in women to have them marry, and then corrupt them by having worship false gods. Okay? So Joseph, though, notice the metaphorical applications. Joseph, who was sold by his brothers into slavery, becomes a ruler and able to save his family. Esther intervenes to prevent the slaughter of family and so forth. So Joseph, sold by his brothers, Philippians tells Jesus was in heaven, became all the way down, even to the form of a servant, in order to overcome and save us. Joseph was falsely accused, put into a dungeon, pit metaphors for the grave. He arises from that pit in order to rule and save. Jesus arises from the grave in order to rule and save. The story of Esther, though, gives a different object lesson, in my view. Where were the people of Israel supposed to be if they were following God's directives and revealed will in the time of Mordecai and Esther? Where were they supposed to be literally, physically living? In Israel. They were not supposed to still be in Media Persia. The decree had been to set free, go back, rebuild the temple, rebuild the city. So we have Mordecai and Esther disobeying the revealed will of God. Being where they're not supposed to be. Have you ever heard it taught that if you go into that particular theater, your angels will not go in with you? The recording one to record the evil deed, but your guardian angel won't go in with you. Or if you knowingly disobey God, that God abandons you, basically. The story of Esther shows that's not true. The story of Esther shows, because in this journey, every one of us has made decisions we know weren't right. And then we've suffered, and they suffered. Because they were where they're not supposed to be, they came under death threat. And it was that death threat that led them to humble repentance and seeking God. And in that humble repentance and fasting and prayer and seeking God, God opened an avenue for their deliverance. And when we go down a path that we know we shouldn't, we will often, in fact always, find ourselves in some sort of straits. Jonah, there you go. And in those straits, if our hearts are still healable, we will come under conviction, we'll humble ourselves, we'll ask God, and God provides deliverance. He does not abandon us. He stays with us, seeking to help us. This is a powerful metaphor, so that we are not discouraged. It does not give us license to do whatever we want, just the opposite.